Hey guys, welcome back to Jason and Joni Builds. We're out here today going to put glass and internals in our door. This is a big step to get to because my shop is growing. As many of you guys have built projects before, you know how you have all your stuff spread out and you're starting with the shell. Well, now that all the parts are going on, it feels like my shop is growing because I'm getting more and more room. And my voice is a little bit crazy. I don't know, allergies or whatever's going on, but y'all bear with me. We'll try to get through this. So what I want to do is just show you a few things that I'm gonna do, and one of the things that Joni thought I was crazy for, but this is what we do. All right, let's get started. Okay, so first of all, the crazy thing I was talking about. I went to Tom's Off-Road, and I bought a new vent window assembly. Well, two brand new vent window assemblies. But I had also bought brand new glass for the Bronco. As you can see, this is tinted. Well, you can't buy tinted glass from Tom's or Wild Horses. So Joni thought I was crazy buying a brand new vent window, tearing it all apart, and taking the glass out. But it's early on, real quick, y'all bear with me. Early on, we'd go to car shows. One of the first cars we ever restored had the original glass in it. We pulled up beside this other guy. His Mustang was perfect, beautiful glass, not a scratch in it. And here we were. You could see sander scratches in our glass in several spots, front and back glass. Not that I put in there, it was from previous owners. And from that day, we both said, man, that was the icing on the cake, was really having nice glass. Well, since then, what we've built, we've put new glass in. So that's the backstory. But it was kind of crazy me having to buy a brand new assembly to take the glass out and put new glass in. But to get what I want, this is what I did. And as you can tell, I also opted for the black frame. I didn't want all the chrome. So the only chrome that's on it is just these pieces. Since we're blacking out our Bronco, these were the cheaper version, but this worked out fine. What I'll do is I took a little video clip when I was out here at 6 in the morning when I couldn't sleep, taking the glass out, and I'll just show you how I took it out. Usually this stuff is put in with a strip. You know, it's like, I don't know if it's rubber or what you call it, but anyways, you would put it in, have to drive it on with a hammer. Well, the windows from Tom's weren't installed that way. They were actually glued in just with window adhesive. So that's the way I put them back. But I will need this to put in the new glass in the door. And some of the other things that we're going to put on before we can get started with this is our black door handles. I got this. I got the black side view mirrors from Wild Horses, and my keyhole I actually painted. When I was painting the bumpers, I just hung them up and sprayed those black. So I didn't see where you could buy those black already. So I know I'll have to be careful with my key putting it in and out, but you know, right now they look really good. So what else I bought from Tom's was all the new hardware. This is the new slide or the lift mechanism that your glass goes on. Well, mine was really rusty on the ends, just where over the years the water runs down around it, and it just wasn't any use to reuse it when I can buy a new piece. I did buy all new runs, felt runs. Okay, so I bought all that, but I do have a complaint.
Imagine that.
Well, you do this and you run into
not
things.
right.
It's not right. And so this is your outer run. This goes against your, basically the door side where it slams against the B-pillar. Well, your glass comes down out of the top rack into this one. And when I installed the driver's side already, the first time the glass came down, it wadded up the felt. See that?
Oh, yeah, I can see where that would be irritating.
Yeah, so that was the first time I had it lined up, you know, because I didn't want this to happen. This is brand new felt. So I had to take this out and get the other one. Hold it right there. So this is the other side I took out. I said, well, it's just a bad part. I'll just get another one. Put the window in, made sure it was lined up, really made sure. Wadded up again.
So let's guess. You Jason-eared it.
I Jason-eared it. That's what you're going. I had never heard of that.
I just come up with it.
So anyways, I don't know what the issue is with these or why both of them failed. I'm talking about on the first strike as it came down, it just wadded it up. Once it does that, it's gone. So I modified it. I haven't modified this one yet because I was going to show you what I did. And fortunately, I made a mistake when I ordered all these parts. I ordered an extra run here for both sides, and this is actually the one that goes in the vent window. So I just ordered all of them, so I had 2 of these extra. So what these turned into, I modified this piece by attaching the hardware to this. So as you can tell, both of them failed. Both of them failed after the window went down in it the first time. So I was lucky because I had made a mistake when I ordered all the parts. I ordered all the felts and not thinking that my new vent window assembly came with one. So I had 2 long runs extra, which was perfect. What I did was, well, actually when I went in there and looked, with these installed where they're supposed to be, well, by the tabs and inside the door, there was about an 1.5 inches, I'm about to say 1.5 inches gap between this and the door run gasket, which is right here. So what I did to modify this piece to go where this one was, I extended it. I made it 1 inch longer up top. I just left it at the same length because the glass doesn't go any further down, but I just wanted it to catch the glass sooner. And then also what I did right here at the top where it mates up, I took a socket and I put a flare right here. So the glass has nothing to hit. So it gets it away from it and it makes a transition. You know, these haven't been modified yet. So what I'm gonna do is I'll show you real quick how I modified this piece to work where this one's supposed to be and hopefully have a better result than I had the first time, because that right there it honestly is unacceptable because I had the glass right. The glass was in there, it was straight. It's just a part failure. It happens. And you can tell it was a manufacturing error because it happened to both of them. I did it my way, it worked fine. So anyways, so this will be the first thing we need to do. I went and measured the other one. It's 18.5 inches from top to bottom. This one is 17 3/4. So actually I lengthened it 3/4 of an inch. But anyways, so that's how much more further it's going to stick up. And then once I do, we'll kind of flare this top. And then I'm just gonna go ahead while I'm over there is take the grinder and grind the bottom of these rivets off so I can transfer these to this other piece. And then what I do is I put those in with a set of screws, real flat face screws, and the glass will go right by it just like it does with these rivets. I got this cut off. Joni said y'all have seen enough of me cutting. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put a mark here. One there. This is the bottom. This top. That way I can mark that hole. That one. So now I'll drill these. We'll get some screws, put this together, then I'll have this new part built and we can trash this. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing on the top. Y'all don't have to watch that so we can move this video along. So what I'm gonna do is I'll get this tightened down good, and then I just cut the studs off because they're not really in the way on this one, but this one's really close to the lock assembly. So I just went ahead and got them knocked off of it.
So that doesn't scratch the glass on the inside?
Now, when I did the other one, I was checking that, and it didn't touch it. If you look here, you see these there's like brass rivets on the inside. So it's
just deep enough.
It's just deep enough. Okay. You know, I didn't have any problem with it, so I'm not saying that nobody will, but I didn't.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so our piece is assembled. As you can see, you can barely see the heads in there, about like the rivets. And again, like I said, I didn't have any trouble with the other one. And on the top, you can tell it's got a little flare to the top. I did that just trying to help make sure that the glass didn't have anything to contact.
You want to show them how you did the flare?
Oh, I just used...
It's really complicated.
I just used this socket wrench because it felt right in my hand and just kind of worked the end over. I don't think I said, but this glass I bought off of eBay, and this it says Auto City is the customer. I don't remember exactly who it is. I can go back in my receipts and find out. But I've used this same company on a Mustang before and had real good results. And so far I've had really good results out of this. Because again, it's got that nice smoke color to it. It's not too dark where, you know, it's hard to see out of. And then our soft top has got tinted windows on it too. So it's all just gonna look really nice. So the next thing we need to do is put on our lower run, which was this part I was talking about earlier. So you just have to think about the way your window and your door is oriented. The channel on these faces to the inside of the door because that's where your arm will come pick it up. So, and then your glass has got a little lean to it on the front, so it kind of tapers back. So the way I'm holding it is the way it's going to go on the Bronco. So this will have to go just like so. Well, and then to install that, I just flip it over on my feet because I'm gonna have to drive it on here in a second with my rubber mallet. So I just want to make sure I keep this in the correct direction. So it comes with this door glass gasket. I'm not exactly sure what you call it. I used to. I just right now the name of it completely misses or it slips my mind. But basically all it does is it pinches the glass between that and this metal piece here. So what way I do it is I just go ahead and fold it in half because you want to train it just a little bit. Get it all the way down. All right. Once you have that, go ahead and put it on the glass. It just all it's got to be is in the center. It's not going to matter if you're a 1/4 inch one way or the other. Just try to find the middle, and then use some type of Windex or soapy water. I want to make sure my gasket. Make sure I've got half the gasket on it. What I'm using is just what I have out here that's kind of slick. Is Quick Detailer, McGuire's. So wet it real good. Let's see. I turned this around and I almost messed up.
I'm about to say, do you have it the right way? I'm
gonna stop and think about it. Let's see, that's center. That's. And you can tell I'm just eyeballing it. I want the same amount on each end. Because I'm going to flip the glass back over. This will be on the inside where I want. Okay. And then you're going to use a rubber mallet. And that's why I put it on my feet so I'm not driving on the floor. And slowly work down it. And you can kind of tell when it goes home because the hammer's not bouncing anymore and it has a more solid thud. That's the best way I can describe it. Anyways, now our brackets on there is facing towards the inside like it needs to. well, we got the glass turned the right direction because the glass on the Bronco will go left or right as long as this bracket's not on it. What I need to do next is go ahead and get the door handle put on because it's kind of behind the glass and it's kind of a pain with all this in the way. So we'll get that stuck on real quick and then we'll put the glass in next. Real quick, I would test, if you're putting new door handles and stuff, I would put that on before you paint because that door handle needed some adjustment. You know, it was an aftermarket part, so the actual pusher assembly was actually a little too close to the door and it wouldn't let the handle go far enough over. So 35 minutes later, we're ready to put the door together.
But the other side went in.
Other side went in perfect. So it's just a combination of aftermarket parts and aftermarket parts. You know, you got two parts that may not be just perfect, and then it's the perfect storm when they don't fit. Anyways,
Just test fit it.
Test fit it. It's all good. So I bought all new parts again. So this bracket, the lower felt run. This is the lower forward felt run. So your bracket goes on. I've got my hardware just kind of holding it loose. So I'll go ahead and just get this one fitted in loosely. We have this slotted hole right here up top. Get it started in that. And then it goes in this bottom one here. And again, I'm just using all stainless fasteners just because I like it that way. This is the top, this is the piece that we built. So I'm just going to put the bottom one in only. And it goes in this bottom slotted hole. Now I'm going to go ahead and just slide the glass in and get it in here. And then we'll go worry with our vent window and the frame. Good. So right now this doesn't have to sit in the frame perfectly, well, in the runners. It just kind of helps you guide it down in there. Right. I just want it in there out of the way for a minute. All right, as far as getting this thing put in, this being a new vent window assembly, I did go ahead and tap all the holes because they weren't, and that's really thick. You can't run a self-tapping screw into that. So I just I found out what size the hole was, and this is like an M4 by 0.7, and it seemed to thread in there real good. I went and bought some of those same size screws, and I didn't have any problem. I know it's not the proper thread, but I could buy stainless screws like that. This one fit good, so I can get to my bowl hole right there.
Well, that's good. It's about time something started to fit good.
I'm telling you. Man, it's really a battle.
I feel like a SpongeBob cartoon. It'd take 30 minutes. 10 hours later.
10 hours later. She asked me how long this video is going to be today. I said, about an hour. I said, I think I can do it in 30, but an hour will do fine.
How many hours have we been out here so far?
Probably at least, what, 2 or 3?
I would say at least
I know
3.
they don't see that. That's.
I think it's been 3. If it hasn't been 3, it's pushing 3. It feels like 10.
10?
10.
See all this good quality time you're spending with your husband.
10 long hours.
I know this is the part you dread anyways, and you'll be glad to see it done. She does not like windows.
I do not like windows. I helped with one window in a Mustang, and I swore I'd never do it again. Like, you need to call your buddies, call backup, reinforcement, whoever. I'm not doing it again.
She really did. That's about a lot. Now we need to put our upper glass track in. And when you buy it, it's got this little flap on it. Can you see that? It's just a little cut off flap, and what that does, it goes right up under the edge in here and helps seal the gap between the glass and the vent glass right there in the corner. So there's a reason why they do that. I had to trim the other side, so we'll have to see if we have to trim this one. Imagine that.
Yep. Sounds like some more Jasoneering.
Let's see. Trim too. See, I'm hard up against the vent window there. You see how much room I have left. That's not going to go in there. So I'm going to have to cut a little bit of that off so I can push it in. So if I leave that there, I can put it up here and get a close idea. I need to take about 1/4 of an inch off of it. I got it. So I just give it the same treatment. I just left another little flap there that I'll get pushed in once we get it on. Let's see how that fits. Oh yeah, much better. Just use a block of wood and what?
You knocking all your little screws off on the floor.
Why are you laughing at me? Alright, so now I'm gonna go stick this in the door. In 10 seconds, you can mess up 10 hours of paintwork. Sorry. That little brace that's under that vent window is really tight, and I was really afraid to knock the paint off. I can breathe now.
Okay, that's good.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get these bolts in loosely right now, because I tend to have to move a lot of this stuff around, so before I really tighten it up, I want to make sure I have it where I want it. Alright, so these two are in. Alright, so I've got these in loosely, the two lower sides. I've got the glass in there. My glass is lined up. Well, I'll show you that here in a second. Well, I can show you real quick. Let me see the camera. Okay, right in there, guys, you can see that I've got the glass run kind of flared out just a little bit. And that's what I did to the other side to help make sure that glass hits it like it's supposed to. So I just wanted to show you that. That one's lined up. And then, well, this is harder to see. But this one too, it's also lined up. Pick the glass up. So that's all the way up in the track. Now, I left this loose because I'm gonna have to pull this back loose here so I can put my runner in, I guess the lift assembly. I'm just gonna roll that back there.
You gotta put that old dirty thing in there.
Yeah. I am. She about lost her mind when she saw it, guys. I'm putting this is the new runner that runs on the window rail. Okay, reason being, I didn't clean it up or anything. It's just dusty, and its work is behind everything. I've replaced these in the past. I've bought aftermarket ones. They never work right. They never seem to work right to me. It just something about the original, whether it's in a Mustang, I don't know if it's that way with the Bronco, but they're both Ford products, and I've just had better luck using the originals. So there's nothing wrong with these. They work fine. So I've used them when I mock the doors up. So get the cobwebs off for you.
So just don't look inside the door.
Right. It's not that I'm being cheap. I feel like I'm actually putting the better part in.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah.
Just checking, see if you checking.
These were most of the way up, and when I put it in, I need it to be down just a little bit. So I'm not.
I do remember it was not fun putting glass in the windows in the Mustang.
Yeah.
After I did one, I decided to retire from that ever again.
Well, I'm getting ahead of myself with this anyways. I need to have the frame in so I can push the window up into the frame. So at least I got the thing over here. All right. So I'm gonna get the frame, and let's go ahead and get the event window put in. I'm just putting this in the slide, the track right there.
So that little blue piece is new.
Yes, the blue piece is new, and I have grease on it. I'll add more grease after I get it assembled, but I don't put it on the track yet because it gets all over your hands. So now how much easier this Bronco is than a Mustang, Johnny?
So far, it looks like it is.
The
Well,
Mustang.
the glass is. I have
Right.
to give it credit there.
Because the Mustang's got a scissor lift in it, and it
weighs about 2,000 pounds.
I guess
Or it felt like it did whenever I was holding it.
It seemed like it when you're working on it.
And you had to hold it forever.
Now we'll get this. Gotta get this track pulled back over. And it's got those two little metal flanges that slide over the side of it. So, bolts. Everything's in there kind of loose still, so I'm just going to run the door up and down. This isn't the handles I'm using, but just make sure it's not binding anywhere. That bottom needs to go over because I felt the window kick. Okay. So you don't have a lot of adjustment with this one right here, so capturing your window as it comes down is in this one here. So I'm going to run it over just a little bit. See what that does.
Don't get too excited.
Alright, that's actually operating really good. And what I do is once I get it down there, I'll kind of loosen this up and let it go where it wants to, because if it's binding, it'll kind of move itself around. I'm going to tighten that up right there and see what it feels like now. Aren't you happy? That was probably the easiest part. The door handle took longer than that.
Oh, yes, it did.
So, let me, I just need to tighten. I need to tighten this bolt. I need to tighten this bottom one down here because I like where it's at, so it's happy. So this one, this inside L bracket, I need to tighten up. And then I need just to tighten all the bolts in the door. So on this thing, we've had a lot of adapt and overcome moments. You know, putting this thing together because everything doesn't always just fit. So.
Did anything fit?
Well, it kind of gets frustrating because you think you've test fit everything, or you take for granted something will fit fine, and then it doesn't. So I don't think I'm going to put in my door handle part yet because I still have to put on the side view mirrors, and I don't want to get anything else right in here where it's going to be in my way because I'm going to be reaching up front. So I can put the door unlock wire in. So this was just another one of the things that, you know, when you're having one of those days that just things just don't go right. Well, I ordered these black, you know, door locks. I don't know if you could hear that. They don't thread on. The thread's too big inside them. So right now they look pretty, but if you grab it, they pull off. So, anyways.
They're fine, just don't ride with kids.
Right. So let's close the door. See what it looks like. So my roll cage isn't bolted down yet. It's still loose. I had left it loose because I didn't have these on yet because where the roll cage sits, I have just a little bit of movement in the bolts. When I get it set, it actually is what sets this gap. So I'll do that here in a little while. I'll pull the cage back just a little bit because when this is my cage bolts to the top of the windshield frame, and then I'll make this gap perfect. So as far as in and out, that's good to me. Want to do one more part?
No.
What about the badge? Last thing.
I guess I can make an exception for the badge.
So I just want to show you guys real quick. So,
and then one more part?
No, this is it, I promise.
And
This is
then
the
one
last
more part?
It really pained me to think about putting those inserts in the fender and then snapping this in and not ever being able to pull this back out without, usually you end up popping the studs off. And just if something happened, I want to get my emblem off. What I did was I threaded the studs. So I just want to show you guys that. So it's really nothing to it. So that mine have nuts on the back, and it was just as easy as getting this is, again, is an M4. And why? It's just because the thread was just right. I didn't have to do any kind of work to the post at all. It was the right diameter. And I just thread this on there.
So you just Jason-eared it again.
I just Jason-eared it. Well, because there's really, I don't know of a good way that I haven't broke the post off of these things trying to get them back out. So if something happened to it, I can save my emblem. So that was the last one. I just wanted to show you guys that, and then I can put it on. So with the threaded post, just put that on. And the nuts on.
That does
Tell
look
me that's
nice.
not an easier way to do it.
Well, it looks very pretty.
Thank you.
Even Bella agrees.
Thank you, Bella. All right. I'll tighten those up and we're good to go. So what do you think about the black on green or Caribbean turquoise?
I like it. Looks good.
So you guys stay tuned for next week. Next week's going to be a fun week because we're finally putting the stuff that I've been wanting to see on it. My side steps, the front bumper. We had a company reach out to us with some real nice LED off-road lights, running lights. So I want you guys to see those and help me decide where we're going to put them on this thing. We're gonna put my rear bumper on that with my designed spring assisted tire carrier. If you guys haven't seen that, look back in our videos. It's actually pretty cool. And yes, ours was out there first. I know there's some other people that have them out there now, but mine really works, and it really does pick up that tire. It's nothing to it. So anyways, can't wait to see that thing on here again. So thanks again for watching this crazy long and kind of out of sorts video, and we'll be back next week. So you guys take care.